Hello, devoted soap opera enthusiasts and loyal followers of the heart-wrenching twists that keep us glued to our screens. It's us here at TV Day's Drama Digest, your ultimate haven for all things sudsy, scandalous, and utterly addictive. If you've been riding the emotional roller coaster of daytime television with us, then you know that few stories have gripped us quite like the saga of Arianne Zucker and her iconic role as Nicole Walker on Days of Our Lives. Today, we're bursting with what can only be described as seismic, pulse-pounding news. Arianne Zucker has reached a confidential settlement in her explosive sexual harassment and retaliation lawsuit against Corday Productions, the show's longtime stewards, and the embattled former executive producer Albert Alar. Picture this: a courtroom showdown that has simmered for over a year, laced with allegations of toxic power plays, whispered threats behind the scenes, and a star's courageous stand against an industry giant. Now, with the ink barely dry on this agreement filed just days ago in Los Angeles County Superior Court, the question on every fan's lips, and trust us, we've seen the forums light up like a Salem blackout, is electric. Does this spell the triumphant return of the fierce, flawed, and forever unforgettable Nicole Walker to the cobblestone streets of our beloved Days universe? Is Arianne Zucker, after a tear-streaked exit that left us all reaching for the tissues, poised to reclaim her throne as one of soapdom's most electrifying divas? Strap in, dear readers, because we're diving deep into this whirlwind of drama, dissecting every shadowy corner, every whispered rumor, and every hopeful heartbeat. Let's unpack this bombshell together, layer by tantalizing layer, and speculate wildly on what comes next. After all, in the world of soaps, no door ever truly closes. It just swings open with a cliffhanger attached. ##### The Shadow over Salem. Arianne Zucker's storied journey from ingenue to icon. To truly grasp the magnitude of this settlement, we must first rewind the clock, not just to the summer of 2024, when Nicole bid a bittersweet adieu to Salem, but all the way back to the late 90s. When a fresh-faced Arianne Zucker first stepped onto the set of Days of Our Lives and ignited a firestorm of passion that would burn for over 2 decades. Born on June 3, 1974, in Northridge, California, Zucker wasn't always destined for the glittering, and often treacherous, halls of daytime TV. With her striking blonde locks, piercing blue eyes, and a smile that could melt the iciest of DiMera vendettas, she burst onto the scene in 1998 as Nicole Roberts. A reformed stripper with a heart of gold and a penchant for bad boys that would make even Sammy Brady blush. Oh, Nicole. Where do we even begin with this vixen-turned-victim-turned-victor? From her scandalous marriage to scheming Lucas Horton, to the gut-wrenching miscarriages that had us ugly crying into our coffee mugs, to the steamy affairs that set ratings ablaze, Zucker's portrayal was a masterclass in emotional acrobatics. She clashed swords and lips with powerhouses like E.J. DiMera, James Scott, whose brooding intensity still haunts fanfic dreams, tangled in baby-swapping bombshells that rivaled the best of General Hospital's Cassadine capers, and navigated the treacherous waters of love with Eric Brady, Greg Vaughn, a romance so tortured it could fuel a spin-off series. Over 25 years, Zucker breathed life into more than 2,000 episodes, earning her a Daytime Emmy nomination in 2004 and a legion of fans who tattooed Team Nicole on their hearts long before it was trendy. But beneath the glamour and the gowns lurked a darker undercurrent, one that Days fans, ever attuned to the genre's penchant for hidden agendas, sensed but couldn't quite name. By the early 2020s, whispers of backstage turmoil began to seep through the soundstages. The COVID-19 pandemic had already strained productions across the board, forcing remote shoots and masked monologues that tested every actor's mettle. Yet for Zucker, who had weathered personal storms, including a high-profile divorce from fellow soap star Nick Swarmer in 2017 and the joyous yet challenging birth of her daughter, Isabella, in 2010, the cracks in the Days facade were starting to show. Reports trickled in of grueling schedules, budget cuts that pinched performer perks, and a creative direction that some felt sidelined veteran stars in favor of fresh faces. Zucker, ever the professional, soldiered on, delivering powerhouse performances in arcs like Nicole's devastating loss of her unborn child in 2022, a storyline so raw it sparked online petitions for more maternal depth in soaps. Little did we know, as we tuned in week after week, that the real drama was unfolding off-camera, a powder keg of allegations that would erupt in 2024 and shake the foundations of one of TV's most enduring institutions. #### the storm breaks. Allegations that rocked the soap world. Fast forward to the sweltering heat of summer 2023, when the first rumbles of thunder echoed through Hollywood. It started subtly. A deadline expose in August that peeled back the curtain on a toxic work environment at Days of Our Lives, painting a picture of an executive producer whose iron-fisted rule bordered on tyranny. Enter Albert Alar, the co-executive producer whose tenure from 2015 to 2023 had been credited with streamlining production, but now stood accused of fostering fear through bullying, inappropriate advances, and a blatant disregard for boundaries. Alar, a veteran of the soap trenches with credits stretching back to the 80s, was portrayed as a man who wielded his authority like a Demera heirloom dagger, sharp, unrelenting, and often aimed at the most vulnerable. The allegations snowballed with ferocious speed. Multiple women came forward with harrowing accounts. Forced kisses that left them reeling, groping incidents disguised as jovial hugs, and a barrage of sexually charged comments that turned the set, a place meant for escapism and artistry, into a minefield of discomfort. One anonymous actress described Alar's playful embraces as anything but, recounting how he'd press himself against her in ways that made her skin crawl, all while moaning in mock ecstasy. Directors whispered of his explosive temper, where a misplaced line could unleash a tirade that echoed through the Burbank studios like a Kiriaki's family feud. And at the epicenter? None other than Arianne Zucker, whose lawsuit would soon crystallize these shadows into a blazing indictment. On February 22, 2024, Zucker filed her bombshell complaint in Los Angeles Superior Court, naming Alar, Corday Productions, and the show's patriarch, Ken Corday, as defendants. In a 20-page document dripping with visceral detail, she alleged a pattern of severe and pervasive harassment and discrimination, including sexual harassment, based upon their female gender. The specifics were stomach-churning, Alar allegedly grabbing her without consent, hugging her so tightly that he'd purposely push her breasts onto his chest, while emitting guttural moans, and peppering conversations with lewd innuendos that reduced her, a woman who'd commanded screens for decades, to an object of his whims. These weren't isolated slips, they were, per the suit, a relentless assault on her dignity, exacerbated by a production company that turned a blind eye. But the knife twisted deeper with claims of retaliation. After voicing her concerns in the fall of 2023, amid the broader investigation that ultimately cost Alar his job in August 2024, Zucker said the reprisals were swift and savage. Her salary was slashed without explanation, a travel stipend she'd relied on for years was yanked, and by June 2023, her character was unceremoniously written off the canvas. Nicole, the indomitable force who'd survived murders, miscarriages, and memory wipes, was exiled to Paris with Eric and their miracle baby Jude, a plot twist that felt less like storytelling and more like sabotage. The suit contended that when Corday Productions dangled a contract extension months later, it came with a salary bump but no real negotiation, a take-it-or-leave-it ultimatum that smacked of punishment for daring to speak out. The soap community erupted. Hashtags like #JusticeForNicole and #MeTooSoaps trended on X, formerly Twitter, with fans flooding comment sections with messages of solidarity. Arianne is the heart of DOL. Don't let them break her. Industry insiders drew parallels to the #MeToo reckonings that had toppled titans in film and TV, noting how daytime dramas, with their insular worlds and long hours, had long been breeding grounds for unchecked power. Ken Corday, the son of the show's co-creator Ted Corday and a fixture since 1986, issued a measured response through spokespeople, emphasizing an internal probe that led to Alar's ouster. A rep for the production told Soap Opera Digest at the time, Corday Productions offered Ms. Zucker a contract extension, including a salary increase. The rejection of Ms. Zucker's counteroffer was not retaliation. "We take all complaints seriously and acted decisively." Alar, for his part, vehemently denied the claims, with his attorney, Robert Barta, labeling them baseless and a ploy for leverage in contract talks. Yet as depositions loomed and discovery dragged into 2025, the weight of the case hung like a guillotine over the Peacock-streamed staple. Ratings dipped, not catastrophically, but enough to notice, as viewers tuned out in protest, tuning into the young and the restless for less fraught drama. Zucker, meanwhile, retreated from the spotlight, sharing cryptic Instagram posts from her new life in Lake Tahoe with daughter Isabella and her husband of just over a year, Sean Christian. The ex-Daniel Jonas, whose on-screen chemistry with Nicole had always hinted at off-screen sparks. Their 2024 wedding, a sun-kissed affair amid the Sierra Nevada pines, offered a glimmer of light amid the legal storm, but even that joy was overshadowed by the courtroom battles. ##### The gavel falls softly, a settlement shrouded in secrecy. And then, like a plot twist straight out of Victor Kiriakis' playbook, resolution struck without fanfare. On October 9, 2025, a Thursday that dawned crisp and ordinary in LA's sprawl, court documents were filed signaling the end of the line, a confidential settlement between Zucker, Corday Productions, Alar, and the ensemble of defendants. No dollar figures leaked, no apologies extracted, no victors declared in the press releases that followed. The Los Angeles Times broke the story first, their entertainment desk confirming the agreement while noting the stonewalling from all sides. Representatives for Corday and the production house? Crickets. Zucker's team? Radio silence, a protective cocoon around their client after months of public scrutiny. Barta, Alar's counsel, broke the hush with a terse statement. "Our client continues to deny the allegations set forth in the complaint. However, in order to bring the litigation to an end, he has agreed to settle. This decision was made solely to end the dispute and move forward." It's the classic legal two-step, a door slammed on the past without admitting fault, but in the hyper-dramatized lens of soap fandom, it reads like a white flag waved from a besieged mansion. Alar, now 68 and out of the industry spotlight, fades further into irrelevance, his legacy forever tainted by the headlines he once commanded. For Corday Productions, the relief is palpable yet precarious. Ken Corday, now in his 80s and steering the ship through streaming transitions and cord-cutting headwinds, can exhale, but only slightly. The settlement averts a trial that could have dredged up more dirt, potentially ensnaring other alumni in testimony. Days, which celebrated its 60th anniversary in 2025 with gala episodes and nostalgic reels, has stabilized under new co-EP Noel Maxim, following Janet Drucker's brief interim stint. Yet the scars linger. A 2025 internal audit, leaked to Variety, revealed ongoing diversity training mandates, a nod to the broader cultural shifts post-#MeToo. And Zucker? In the quiet aftermath, she emerges not broken, but battle-hardened, a phoenix in Lululemon, posting yoga flows and family hikes that scream reinvention. Her silence on the settlement speaks volumes. Victory, perhaps, in reclaiming her narrative on her terms. ### echoes in the square. Nicole's ghost haunts Salem streets. Even as the legal dust settles, days of our lives can't escape the specter of Nicole Walker. Her July 2024 exit, That poignant airport farewell where Eric scooped up Jude and whispered promises of croissants and sane sunsets was scripted with the finesse of a farewell tour, but it landed like a sucker punch. Salem without Nicole? It's like Horton Square sans its holiday tree, functional, but devoid of that spark. The showrunners, in a nod to her enduring pull, have kept her alive in the ether. Recent episodes tease Holly Jonas's impending move to Paris, a storyline laced with teary video calls and what if she came back, banter that has fans screenshotting and theorizing. Data doesn't lie. Nicole remains a top-queried character on the official Days app, with fan polls on Soap Central clocking 78% clamoring for her return. Her chemistry with Vaughn was dynamite. Think the 2023 reveal of Jude's paternity, a twist that had us gasping louder than the Tate Black baby swap. Without her, the canvas feels unbalanced. EJ's brooding, now helmed by Dan Feuerriegel, lacks its perfect foil, and the Brady Black clan simmers without her signature snark. Writers have floated recasts in the past. Remember when they'd kill her off only to resurrect her with a twin? But Zucker is Nicole. Any imposter would spark riots in Reddit's r/Days of Our Lives. This settlement, then, isn't just paperwork, it's a lifeline. With bridges mended, or at least patched, could negotiations reopen? Imagine the drama. Nicole, jaded by Parisian ennui, jetting back for a Demera gala gone wrong, only to uncover a Stefano-level conspiracy. Or a custody crisis with Jude pulling her into EJ's orbit once more. The possibilities are as endless as a Days flashback montage, and twice as juicy. ##### fan frenzy. Voices from the front lines of soap passion. We couldn't pen this without amplifying you, our incredible community. Since the settlement news dropped, our inbox has overflowed with raw, unfiltered emotion. Arianne's return would heal so much. She's the queen we need now, gushes at Salem Siren 87 on X, echoing a thread that's garnered 5K likes. Over on Facebook's Days of Our Lives Addicts group, a poll titled Nicole Come Home tips 85% yes, with comments dissecting everything from salary bumps to storyline redemption. One devotee, a 45-year veteran named Carla from Ohio, shares, "I started watching with my mom in the 70s. Nicole's my girl, tough, sexy, unbreakable. If they don't bring her back, I'll boycott the holiday specials." Skeptics abound too. Too much bad blood, warns a TikTok soap guru with 200K followers, splicing clips of Zucker's exit with dramatic music swells. But hey, it's Days. Death is reversible. Why not grudges? Forums buzz with wild specs. A crossover with Bold and the Beautiful? A tell-all memoir? The energy is electric, a testament to how deeply these characters burrow into our souls. #### looking ahead. Hope, healing, and the horizon of soaps. As the curtain falls on this chapter, for now, what lingers is a profound sense of possibility. Arianne Zucker's settlement isn't merely a legal footnote, it's a beacon for every artist who's stared down Goliath and lived to emote another day. It underscores the seismic shifts in Hollywood, from the 2017 Weinstein watershed to today's zero-tolerance edicts. Women like Zucker are rewriting the rules, demanding dignity amid the dazzle. For Days of Our Lives, at 60 and still slinging scandals, this could be the reset it craves. With streaming surges and Emmy nods keeping it afloat, a Zucker encore would be ratings rocket fuel. Think Super Bowl-level hype for a soap. And for fans? It's validation that our obsessions matter, that the women we root for off-screen deserve the same fierce loyalty we give their alter egos. So, as we sign off from this epic deep dive, clocking in at over 2,500 words of unadulterated drama, because you deserve nothing less, we turn the mic to you. Do you think Arianne Zucker will return to Days of Our Lives? We hope you enjoyed it and look forward to sharing more with you in the future. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe TV Days Drama Digest for more updates on Days of Our Lives.